King of Storms Ragasa marches towards Hong Kong with higher warning signal coming soon. A family's wave-watching outing turns into crisis as mother and son are swept out to the sea. And at least 3 people die after Ragasa batters northern Philippines. Good evening. You're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Zhu. The city is on high alert, bracing for the strongest typhoon yet to hit this year, with Super Typhoon Ragasa approaching and a higher warning signal on the horizon. Best Learn reports.
The government flying service has sent its aircraft to the center of Ragasa, dubbed the King of Storms by Mainland's Meteorological Agency, to collect weather data, traversing the core of the eye of the storm and capturing images which revealed how enormous the storm's eye is. The observatory issued the number 8 warning signal at 2:20 p.m., prompting breadwinners who had long anticipated the storm to get off work. The forecaster predicted that the fierce super typhoon will be closest to the vicinity of Pearl River estuary tomorrow morning, with the weather getting worse quickly.
The weather is expected to deteriorate rapidly overnight, with winds strengthening quickly. The weather will be persistently adverse tomorrow. Gale to storm force winds will prevail locally, and winds will reach hurricane force offshore and on high ground at first. There will be frequent heavy squally showers and thunderstorms. Seas will phenomenal with swells. There will be overtopping waves over the shoreline. According to the Sea State forecast, overtopping waves will be particularly significant along the eastern and southern coast.
The weather would not be improving until the later part of this week, and residents are urged to stay safe and vigilant. Best Learn Cable News.
A family wave-watching during Typhoon Ragasa was thrown into crisis this afternoon when a massive wave swept a mother and her young son into the sea off Taiwan's coastline. The father jumped into the turbulent waters in a desperate rescue attempt, leading to an emergency response amid intense weather. Quentin Yang shares more.
The 3 people fell into the waters off Taiwan have been rescued by nearby boaters and firefighters. The 38-year-old mother and the 5-year-old son lost consciousness upon returning to the ground and were in critical conditions. The 40-year-old father, who jumped in and tried to save them, remained conscious. They were transported to Pamela Yode Netherso Eastern Hospital for treatment. The incident occurred at around 3:25 p.m. near the vehicle ferry at 6th Kaib Street, when the family of 4 was observing the intense waves brought by the approaching super typhoon. The mother and son was washed offshore by a powerful surge, and the father immediately jumped in, leaving the 4th family member, their 9-year-old daughter, alone on shore crying. Witnesses immediately alerted police and firefighters. Authorities later described the incident as very dangerous, as the choppy sea made rescue operation difficult. The rescue comes as authorities issued stern warnings against the dangerous practice of wave chasing and watching, stressing ignoring police instructions to leave coastal areas would result in severe law enforcement. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Super Typhoon Ragasa is sending crashing waves across coastal parts of Hong Kong Island, with flooding black spot Heng Fa Chun feeling the impact so thrilling that even police had to urge wave watchers to stand back. Jamie Liu has more.
At the seaside estate this morning, a huge wave splashed onto the promenade, soaking residents even 10 meters away. The waves towered above the height of an average person. Seawater inundated the promenade. Curious onlookers gathered behind the cordon, hoping to catch a glimpse of the waves. Later in the afternoon, police officers patrolled the promenade, telling residents to leave. Even far from the shore, seawater burst past the sandbags, shooting several meters high from the drains. Residents seemed well prepared, taping their windows and even covering them with plastic sheets to keep their apartments watertight. In the fishing village of Mun, another flooding black spot, a kiosk stayed open until the last moments before the typhoon. The owner is hoping the flooding turns out milder than expected and that any potential losses can be covered by insurance. Still, he took preventive measures, using wooden planks to reinforce the windows and placing down sandbags to stop rising seawater rushing into the inner street from streaming into his store. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Guangdong authorities have raised the typhoon emergency response to the highest level as Ragasa is forecasted to make landfall along the central-western coast of the province tomorrow. Widespread suspensions of work, classes, and transport are in effect across affected areas.
Earlier today, mainland's weather authorities have upgraded the storm surge and ocean wave warnings to red, the most severe level. Waves of 4 to 7 meters are expected in coastal areas of Guangdong, with storm surges of 120 to 250 centimeters projected from Shenzhen to Jiangmen. In the coastal cities of the province, all fishing vessels have returned to harbors for shelter. More than 11 cities, including Shenzhen, Zhuhai, and Zhongshan, have announced the implementation of the 5 suspensions, halting work, school, production, business, and transport. Intercity railways partially ceased operations at noon, followed by the suspensions of Shenzhen subway and airport this evening.
As Super Typhoon Ragasa is bearing down on Hong Kong and southern China tonight, a trail of shocking destruction and casualties it left in the Philippines and Taiwan offers stark reminders. Quentin Yang has more details.
Ragasa, or known locally in the Philippines as Nando, has killed at least 3 people and displaced thousands more after making landfall on Monday, with devastating 215 kilometers per hour sustained winds and gusts up to 295 kilometers per hour. The storm's fury was particularly brutal in the remote Babuyan Islands and the Cagayan province in the northern Philippines, where coastal communities faced life-threatening storm surges exceeding 3 meters. Video footage revealed devastating flooding that turned streets into rivers. Roofs ripped from homes, damaged houses, fallen trees, and boats washed ashore. More than 25,000 households were evacuated across northern and central Luzon. The Philippine government also ordered the suspension of work and classes across Manila and 29 northern provinces. In Taiwan, although the storm did not make a direct hit, its outer band still brought significant disruption. Taiwan's Emergency Operations Center reported 6 injuries and widespread power outages affecting more than 8,500 households, with 1,694 still without power as of today. The transportation network was severely disrupted, with hundreds of flights cancelled, including all services to Hualien and Taitung, as well as flights to the offshore islands of Green Island and Orchid Island. The small 3 links, ferry services between Kinmen and the mainland cities of Xiamen and Quanzhou, were also suspended for today. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
The current term government will keep its waste charging scheme on hold, pointing to challenges from the trade war and a complex geopolitical landscape.
The announcement came more than a year after authorities indefinitely suspended the policy that would have charged residents for garbage disposal. In a document submitted to the Legislative Council, the Environment and Ecology Bureau said Hong Kong is facing challenges from multiple fronts and the pressure from an economic transformation. Acknowledging public pushback, it said the measures should avoid adding pressure on small businesses and the grassroots, and be both timely and appropriate. Given the success of other waste reduction efforts, the current administration will continue to put the waste charging scheme on hold.
In other news, 2 senior staff members at the cash-strapped CUHK Medical Center have been dismissed for allegedly abusing their authority to falsify records and embezzle public hospital funds.
The hospital confirmed no patient care was compromised and services continue as normal with appropriate staff reallocations. However, citing the ongoing investigation now handled by law enforcement agencies, the center is withholding specifics. This includes the employees' identities, the amount of money involved, and the duration of the misconduct. The hospital emphasizes it is taking action to prevent similar incidents and has pledged to publicly disclose the findings. Furthermore, it will proactively seek anti-corruption training from the relevant authorities to enhance staff awareness.
U.S. broadcaster ABC will put late-night host Jimmy Kimmel back on air, but not all local television stations will carry his comeback show. While his 6-day suspension over comments on the death of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk is over, the free speech debate is far from settled. Jamie Liu has more.
We must exercise our First
Hours
Amendment
before the
rights
news
by
of
speaking
reinstatement,
directly to our
politicians
government.
and union leaders gathered for a rally outside Kimmel's theater in Hollywood to criticize ABC and its parent Disney for violating the right to free speech. The comedian's talk show was pulled after he criticized supporters of U.S. President Donald Trump for trying to score political points off Kirk's killing. Disney explained that it had initially suspended the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. Disney said it found Kimmel's comments ill-timed and thus insensitive, but after thoughtful conversations with him, it decided to return the show on Tuesday. Disney Chief Executive Officer Bob Iger was reportedly among the top executives who spoke with Kimmel. Citing sources, Reuters reported that the company was feeling pressure from a campaign urging consumers to cancel their Disney Plus streaming service subscriptions in protest. However, Sinclair Broadcast Group, owner of 38 ABC affiliates, declined to carry Kimmel's comeback show, citing ongoing talks with the network. In the wake of Kimmel's suspension, hundreds of Broadway and Hollywood stars, including Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, and Robert De Niro, have urged Americans to defend their constitutional rights. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
France formally recognized Palestinian statehood on Monday at a United Nations summit, becoming the latest in a wave of Western countries taking a direct challenge to intense opposition from both the United States and Israel. Quentin Yang reports.
Je déclare que la France reconnaît aujourd'hui l'État de Palestine.
French President Emmanuel Macron announced the decision, receiving loud applause and a standing ovation from the Palestinian delegation in the UN General Assembly Hall. He stated that the move was meant to pave the way for peace and preserve the possibility of a two-state solution. The summit, convened by France and Saudi Arabia, saw several other European nations, including Belgium, Luxembourg, Malta, and Monaco, followed suit with recognitions. This comes a day after the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and Portugal took similar steps, signaling a significant shift in Western diplomatic posture. The coordinated recognitions mark a deliberate defiance of pressure from the Trump administration. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said President Donald Trump disagrees and believes it is a reward to Hamas. In response, Israeli ambassador to the UN Danny Danon condemned the summit as a circus and said Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu would deliberate on response. However, despite the strong symbolic weight of the recognitions, full UN membership for Palestine still requires Security Council's approval, where the US holds a veto. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 185 points. Top active stocks of the day, SMIC was down 75 cents. Tencent was down $5.50. Meituan was down $2.90, and Baidu was down $7.30. Onto the weather now. Cloudy to overcast with a few squally showers and thunderstorms. The weather will deteriorate rapidly and showers will become more frequent overnight. Showers will be heavy with significant storm surge tomorrow, with temperatures ranging between 24 and 28 degrees. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thanks for watching and good night.